You're watching NBC4, working for you. Live from the area's leading news station, this is News 4 at 6.
Today at the Pentagon, the public is getting its first close-up look at the spot where a hijacked plane crashed into the building on September 11th. And in New Orleans, the floodwaters are receding and the grim task of searching for bodies is underway. Evening, everyone. I'm James Adams. We have a lot going on tonight. We begin with the latest from New Orleans, where the water levels are finally going down and searchers are not finding as many bodies as they expected. Leanne Gregg joins us now live from New Orleans with the very latest. Leanne.
Rescuers are returning to flooded neighborhoods in New Orleans to persuade holdouts to leave before an order comes to force them out.
Long you got food and water, you think.
But these officers convinced Freeman Brown there were other threats, and later he allowed them to carry him to safety.
We felt that because of his age and some possible complications with his health, it was time for him to go.
All around the city, there's encouraging news, and local officials who had been critical of FEMA now praise the agency's new leadership on Katrina recovery.
The right FEMA team is now on the ground, and New Orleans is taking a great positive step to recovery.
And we're anxious to move on and develop this partnership and to deliver the goods for the people of Louisiana, especially around New Orleans. Among
those goods, drier streets. These huge pumps are moving the toxic flood water out of the city and into Lake Pontchartrain. Water levels are now dropping up to a foot a day, progress clearly seen on houses and cars.
I'm getting the city back together, and I'm a part of it.
Now that some of the streets are clear of water, piles of trash are being cleared away at the convention center, where thousands of evacuees took shelter before it became uninhabitable. Because teams like these are performing so many rescues and finding fewer bodies than expected, officials say Katrina's death toll here may be lower than the 10,000 earlier projected. Leanne Gregg, NBC News, New Orleans.
Nationally known musicians are gathering in Maryland tonight to raise money for Katrina's victims. New Orleans native Wynton Marsalis is the headliner at the Jazz Festival turned fundraiser in Silver Spring. Darcy Spencer now with the very latest from there. Darcy.
Well, James, I can tell you it was quite a feat to get such a renowned artist as Wynton Marsalis to come to this jazz festival. He is expected to perform later on today. He is a native of New Orleans, a hurricane-ravaged city, and a lot of money is being raised to help those victims. Let's take a look now. The Ron Holloway group has just left the stage. We're expecting Carol Sloan to come up to the mic in just a couple of minutes. The live entertainment kicked off about 2 hours ago with Frederick Yonay. With a tiny harmonica, Frederick Yonay made a big impression as the opening act for the Silver Spring Jazz Festival. The event was also billed as a hurricane relief concert.
I think it's a twofold. I think it's a way for the members of the community to come together and a beautiful occasion, as well as maybe do something positive to help the victims of the hurricane.
A host of talented performers are expected for this second annual event, topped off with renowned trumpeter Wynton Marsalis, a native of New Orleans. His attendance expected to boost donations.
He's brilliant musically, and he is so well thought of, and so we will be bringing in a huge crowd as the afternoon goes on.
As the music played, the Red Cross collected donations for victims of the disaster.
Donating because people need a lot of help, and it's a good way to do it.
We're doing great. The crowd's been really generous. We've got about $2,500 so far.
The event taking place in a redeveloped Silver Spring with world-famous musicians and a spirit of giving.
I grew up in Silver Spring. I've been here for 34 years, and Silver Spring has grown a lot. So this festival and the fact that they did all this renovation down here is wonderful for the area.
Now, the Jazz Festival is expected to go on till 10:30 tonight. Wynton Marsalis is expected to perform between 8:30 and 10 o'clock tonight. Then there's going to be a special jam session. Montgomery County Executive Doug Duncan also expected to be here on stage. Now, just a minute ago, James, as we were doing the intro, they were talking about how disappointed they were that only $4,000 had been raised so far. So they're asking the crowd to step it up. Let's go ahead and donate some money and help the victims of Hurricane Katrina. And hopefully that will happen tonight. Back to you.
Stillwood. All right. Thank you, Darcy. NBC4 and NBC News Washington are planning a day-long fundraising effort this Monday, September 12th, to help the hurricane victims. We will be accepting monetary donations at the Georgetown Safeway. That's at 1855 Wisconsin Avenue from 6 in the morning until 6:30 at night. You can also donate at any SunTrust Bank location during business hours. WMZQ Radio and Hot 99.5 are also helping raise money. Then at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., we will present a special hour-long live fundraiser on NBC4, hosted by Jim Vance, Doreen Gensler, and Tim Russert. Lots of familiar faces will be on hand to accept your calls and donations, and all proceeds will go to the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army. Today, the Pentagon opened to the public for the first time since the September 11th, 2001 attack. The gesture comes just 1 day shy of the 4th anniversary of the terrorist attack, which claimed 184 lives in Washington. Jeff Napshin has the story.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pentagon.
Over 4 hours, hundreds of people took advantage of this rare opportunity to see the Pentagon up close.
It was important to do something. And, you know, this was available.
I think that the public should take any opportunity that they're given to see something like this when they open it up.
Officials hope the tour offers a lesson about one of our darkest days.
Because we haven't had that chance to let the American people, and the people here that live in the D.C. area, come and see exactly what happened on 9/11.
All right, folks, if you follow me this way, we are going to get started with your tour.
Outside, visitors are taken by this time capsule placed near the spot where the plane crashed. Just a few feet away is the future site of the Pentagon Memorial, an $18 million project that will soon break ground. Inside the building is the America's Heroes Memorial, dedicated to the men and women who died that day. Next door is a chapel featuring this dramatic stained glass window.
The eagle is surrounded by 184 red glass pieces commemorating all those who lost their lives in the attack.
This is the first time in 4 years that the Pentagon has reopened to the public, giving them a chance to rebuild and enhance security. It's a test project, and if it goes well, they hope to do it again. The early reaction is positive, especially from those who suffered the most.
It was terrible, and not knowing for so long, you know, not finding her.
William Fields lost his wife on 9/11. It was her second day on the job, and also her birthday. Visiting the site again has a huge impact, helping him cope with his loss.
It still hurts. You never forget, you know, the pain, and it never goes away ever.
At the Pentagon, I'm Jeff Napshin, News 4.
And still ahead tonight on News 4 at 6, another name is officially added to the list of people running for mayor of Washington. Tom Sherwood reports. And later in sports, the Braves keep the Nationals inside the park. And how about our weather, Clay?
James, we continue to enjoy dry weather. How long will it last? Complete forecast in just a few moments. News 4 continues.
Coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News, house-to-house searches here in New Orleans, and another frustration for evacuees. That's tonight.
D.C. City Council member Adrian Fenty today sought to cast himself as the politician for the future of the city. Today, Fenty, a two-term council member, dismissed D.C. Council Chair Linda Kropp and other candidates as part of the past. Tom Sherwood reports.
At a rally to mark 1 year before the primary election, Fenty sought to paint Council Chairman Kropp, who entered the race Wednesday, as part of the city's failed past.
People who have been around for a long time really just have too much of that experience where the city wasn't run correctly, and we need to distance ourselves from that past.
Even so, Fenty's event was led by a former council member, Bill Lightfoot, a wealthy lawyer and Fenty fundraiser. In his 9-minute speech, Fenty mentioned the word future 13 times. He told the crowd of about 250 that he can offer better services to everyone.
It's a future where we don't have to have one thing and sacrifice another. I've said often that this city should operate on all cylinders, that we can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Kropp and Fenty are widely regarded as the leading candidates for mayor, with Kropp needing to prove that she represents the future, not the status quo, and Fenty needing to prove that his limited experience is an asset, not a negative. Ward 5 Councilmember Vincent Orange and former utility executive Marie Johns also are announced candidates for mayor. Incumbent Mayor Tony Williams is not expected to seek re-election. Tom Sherwood, News 4, Washington.
Still ahead tonight, we're all wondering about Hurricane Ophelia. Will she affect this glorious weather we've been having? Clay Anderson has your forecast. He's next. Groups in the Washington area continue to pitch in to help victims of Hurricane Katrina. Today, a church in Maryland transformed its previously scheduled Community Day into a fundraiser for the victims. The Emmanuel Seventh-day Adventist Church is on New Hampshire Avenue in Aston. That's where members of the congregation spent today gathering donations to be sent to the disaster zone. Clean clothes, shoes, toiletries were collected, and several other Adventist churches in the Washington area are also taking part in the event. And in Arlington, Virginia, the St. Agnes School is also loading a truck for the homeless victims. Volunteers are filling an 18-wheeler with linens for people who have been forced into temporary shelters. New pillows, blankets, sheets, and towels are among the items being collected. The school says a volunteer will drive the stock truck down to the affected areas for distribution. Meantime, in the district today, thousands of people gathered for the 20th annual Black Family Reunion down on the National Mall. The two-day cultural event was the brainchild of Dr. Dorothy Height, chair of the National Council of Negro Women. The event celebrates the African-American family as well as its strengths and traditional values. The event usually draws more than 500,000 people. They enjoy free events and activities including live music, health screenings, arts, crafts, and plenty of food. I know I'll be down there tomorrow chairing a panel discussion and hope the weather's nice enough so folk can stop by and enjoy. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, and the weekend started out very nice, James. Some sunshine, a bit of clouds early in the morning, and we do have some clouds filtering across the Washington area right now as we approach sunset, but still very nice day for early September across Washington area. Temperature right now 83 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and the winds are from the east right now at 5 miles per hour. Now the effect of an easterly wind, a northeasterly wind, as we show you the visible satellite. Notice some cumulus clouds that are forming just on the eastern side of the mountain. So that easterly flow kind of getting a little bit of cumulus action there as it reacts to the mountains, some upsloping conditions. And take a look at the clouds down to our south. These clouds are associated with now Hurricane Ophelia. We'll talk about Ophelia in just a moment. If you are traveling from the beaches right now, live Doppler 3D from Ocean City across the bridge to Annapolis. No problems across the I-95 corridor and out to our west. Shenandoah Valley looks good as well. Temperature outside right now here at our studios, we are at 80 degrees. Dew points a comfortable 62 degrees. Humidity at 52%. Temperatures around the area including 80 degrees for Mount Airy and Montgomery County. La Plata to our south at 79 degrees and temperatures to our west. Shenandoah Valley from the mid-70s to about 80 degrees. More temperatures across the eastern third of our nation include 81 degrees in town, 79 degrees for New York City, but the heat starts to build in middle America. St. Louis coming in at 91 degrees. Now, speaking of Ophelia, again, we see that circulation associated with barely a Category 1 storm. The reason why Ophelia just sits and sits, high pressure system on the surface, circulation forces the hurricane down to our south, and then the jet stream is not really picking up the steering patterns associated with the upper level winds. So as a result, Ophelia, now about 230 miles southeast of Charleston, South Carolina, still causing some beach erosions right now. Barely a hurricane as it continues to meander, not really showing much movement, but it is expected to come on shore still a couple days before it moves on shore. It won't really affect us until later on in the week. So futurecast in motion over the next 24 hours. Again, we'll pick up some morning fog across the area. Notice how the winds are rather light as far as the direction is concerned. That means our weather's not going to change much over the next 24 to 48 hours. Here's a forecast for tonight, everyone. A rather peaceful evening across our area. Temperatures upper 50s in town to about 65 to 66 degrees inside the Beltway. Tomorrow, morning fog once again, particularly tidal Potomac and the Shenandoah Valley. Then sunshine, temperatures in the low 80s, and continues for Monday. Back to work, back to school, more sunshine, still dry, and the temperature near 90s. A little bit of a heat wave for a day or so. After that, Tuesday into Wednesday, we'll keep an eye on Ophelia and see what it does. We could see rain in the Washington area as early as Wednesday. A 30% chance of that, and it could hang around Thursday and Friday. Again, that depends on what Ophelia does, and otherwise, James, we'll keep you posted.
Just have to watch.
Watch and wait.
All right, thank you, sir. Still ahead tonight, it's an up and down day for the Terrapins in their home opener. We've got your sports next. Well, the Nationals gave it their best.
Maybe. Not really, though.
Wasn't all there, but...
No, it wasn't all there. Offensively, they didn't have the bats going today, and Livan Hernandez made a couple of mistakes. Two pitches is all that Livan Hernandez would like to have back, and it cost him his 11th straight loss to the Atlanta Braves. Hernandez surrendered 2 fourth-inning home runs, one to Andrew Jones, who ties a Braves single-season home run record with his 47th, and the Braves shut out the Nationals 4-0 at RFK Stadium, a matinee. Top of the fourth, Livan Hernandez has already given up a solo home run in the inning to Andrew Jones, now facing Brian McCann. McCann with 2 outs, and there he goes to deep right field. There were 2 on, and that one's going to reach the Loge level. A 3-run home run. That's the second mistake that Livan made in that inning, and the Braves had a 4-0 advantage. The only runs scored in the game came in that inning. Bottom of the fifth, still 4-0. Christian Guzman has a runner on, and Guzman is bidding for a 2-run home run. He drives this one to deep right field. Jeff Francoeur drifts back to the wall, times his leap perfectly, and robs Guzman of the home run, and then quickly fires back into the infield. Not in time, though, to double off Ryan Church. Look at Francoeur's Franks rooting for him. They're just absolutely giddy. So is Francoeur. Braves shut out the Nationals this afternoon. The final there was 4-0. Moved to the American League. Bartolo Colon won his 8th straight, becoming the American League's first 19-game winner. The Angels beat the White Sox 10-5, while Curt Schilling picks up his first win since returning to Boston's starting rotation. Schilling allowed just 5 hits over 8 innings. The Red Sox pounded the Yankees 9-2. Up in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, top of the first. It's a scoreless game, but not for long. Manny Ramirez, a runner on and 2 outs, and gets a hold of this Sean Chacon pitch, and there it goes to left field into the Red Sox bullpen. 34th home run of the year for Manny. 3 runs batted in. Manny Ramirez now with 120 RBIs on the season. Red Sox in front 2-0. To the top of the fourth, Yankees now trailing 3-0. Al Leiter has the bases loaded, only 1 out, sets and delivers to David Ortiz, and he lifts the fly ball to Hideki Matsui. In pursuit, look at the sun glaring off the sunglasses. Matsui has to make the adjustment, doesn't really see the ball, and loses the ball. It drops. Gabe Kapler walks in easily to score. Tony Graffinino is safe at third. The Red Sox exact a little revenge. They pound the Yankees in game number 2 of this 3-game series. The final was 9-2. Home opener for the Terrapins. It's the type of loss that can haunt a team all season long. Up by 10 in the 4th at home. The Terrapins allowed Clemson a chance to make plays, and they did. Clemson engineers 2 touchdown drives, including the game winner with under 3 minutes to play. Clemson rallies. They beat the Maryland Terrapins 28-24. Spoiling the home opener at Byrd Stadium. Terrapins with a good luck rub at Testudo take the field. This was the home opener 2005. Second quarter, Clemson leads at 7-3. Cole Chasen back to punt, but the snap soars over his head. Chasen tracks it down, indecisive, and is taken down at the 3-yard line. A golden opportunity for the Terrapins. It took them 4 plays. 4th and goal, quarterback Sam Hollenbach. On the keeper, gets hit. Ricardo Dickerson gives Hollenbach the push, and it's a 1-yard touchdown. Maryland has the lead 10-7, and Terry Bowden a little bit on the sideline concerned. Third quarter, Maryland trailing 14-10. Hollenbach, shotgun, 3rd and 9. Finds Vernon Davis over the middle. Vernon Davis weaves his way up the middle and goes 29 yards for the score. Davis, 6 catches, 140 yards. Maryland built a 24-14 4th quarter lead. 3 minutes left. Clemson trailing by 3. 3rd and 7. Charlie Whitehurst hands to Reggie Mayweather. He bounces it to the outside, takes it down the sideline. 38 yards, game-winning touchdown. Clemson comes back, beats Maryland 28-24. Terrapins knew they let this one slip away.
They blew an opportunity. They had an opportunity. I told them last night they had an opportunity. It was just sitting there waiting for them to happen. And they, we had a chance. We didn't get it done. Coaches, players, everybody. We didn't get it done.
Ralph Friedgen. The scoreboard shows how easily Virginia Tech's offense operated against Duke. They scored 45 points. Yet the telling stat, Tech's defense held Duke to just 35 yards of offense. That's 13 yards rushing, 22 yards passing. 7th-ranked Virginia Tech improves to 2-0 in the ACC. They paced Duke 45-0 at Wallace Wade Stadium down in Durham, North Carolina. First quarter, Duke is trailing 7-0. Kurt Dukes, who struggled, went 1 for 3 for 8 yards, has his pass upfield intercepted by Roland Miner. Nice pick by the H.D. Woodson graduate, and then Miner turns it around and weaves his way in for a 24-yard interception return for touchdown. The Hokies out in front 14-0 to the third quarter. Virginia Tech is leading 21-0. Marcus Vick drops back, little play action, throws down over the middle to David Clowney behind the Duke secondary. That's a 35-yard score. Vick 12 of 19, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns. Hokies not clowning around today. They crushed Duke 45-0. At the Big House in Ann Arbor, third-ranked Michigan coming from the shadows into the light, hosting Notre Dame. Second quarter, Notre Dame leads it 7-3. Brady Quinn drops back. His pass over the middle is tipped by Chris Graham. Jeff Samardzija still manages to make the catch. A 5-yard touchdown. Notre Dame and Charlie Weiss all business. Notre Dame pulls the upset of Michigan in Ann Arbor 17-10. The Irish improve to 2-0. Elsewhere, local college football, Hampton, a winner over Howard 22-12. Georgetown dumped by Holy Cross 48-6. And Catholic falls to Augustana 52-26. U.S. Open men's semifinal is still going on. They're in a 4th set now between Roger Federer and Leighton Hewitt. Andre Agassi, 35 years old, the oldest man to reach the finals since Ken Rosewall did it 34 years ago.
Still holding court.
Andre Agassi in the finals tomorrow.
My gosh.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. The NBC Nightly News comes your way next. We'll see you again tonight at 11. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.